Hello there! If you're subscribed to this channel, then you probably know that I've been trying out many different types of videos to see what I want to do with this channel. And today I'm trying something a little different than my other videos. I'm going to be doing a fanfiction reading. So, I'm going to start out with a short one for the first video. And just a little warning beforehand, I don't like using language, so if there's any language in the stories I read, my intention is to censor it out. And for fun, I thought I would use this. Yeah. So, let's just hope there's not a lot of language in the stories I read, or it's going to be noisy. But anyway, without further ado, the fanfiction, rather, I'm going to read today is called Concealer. And it is a Soul Eater fanfic by Karnival. I believe that's correct. So, let's try this out. Alright. Concealer. Disgusting. I'm disgusting. Death the Kid can only look at himself in the bathroom mirror for 5 seconds before he would have to turn away again. The slight twist of his head to the left would reveal a nasty bruise around his right eye. A black eye it was, except Kid was more annoyed at the fact that the discoloration was more of a purplish brown. Kid would have actually preferred a literally black eye if it meant better coordination with his monochromatic garb. But no, he was a disgusting human being instead. The depressed technician stared mournfully at his reflection for about the 100th time. His 3 white stripes were no longer the only reason for his flawed symmetry. Oh, death take me. Take this hideous being to your depths. Kid broke down to his knees, begging for his death to come quick. However, he was only into a few seconds of his depression before he was brought back up again. The grin on his face showed that an epiphany had struck him. He had an idea. I can make them even again, Kid exclaimed, ignoring his already throbbing right eye. Kid concluded that striking at his left eye until another purplish bruise formed would be the perfect solution. Yes, it is a plan of perfection. Why couldn't I think of it sooner? With his own fist and without delay, he began his first round of self-clouting. Punch. Ow. Punch. Ah. Punch. Urgh. Kid looked into the mirror with squinted and damaged eyes to examine his reflection. Is it purple yet? No, must punch a few more times. Disappointed at the lack of any sign of purple, Kid was ready for another blow until seeing Liz's reflection in the mirror stopped him. She stood perplexedly behind him at the door. Kid, just what the are you doing? My face is out of balance, so I'm correcting it, the tech responded, as if beating himself up was completely rational. Right, I almost forgot about the black eye. Ha ha! Liz threw her head back as she laughed carelessly. Kid was summoned to the ground once again and returned to his dejected position on his knees. Disgusting. Disgusting. Ah, Kid, Liz began as she realized what she had done. She and her sister always failed to remember that the slightest bit of criticism, joking or not, could do some intense harm to their tech. Liz squatted to meet Kid's level. Chin up, let me see. Kid lifted his head to expose his pitiful black eye. The pout on his face was just as pitiful. Well, the girl began, searching for something positive to say, kind of brings out your yellow eye? Kid bawled and cried. But that's exactly it. It's my eye and not my eyes. I'm no longer in balance. I'm a disgrace. Liz was not going to counter-argue with Kid's asymmetrical hair in his current state. Come on, shouldn't you be ragging on Blackstar for hitting you instead of yourself? If I could have dodged his attack a little more downwards and to the right, he could have hit me square in the forehead, and my left could still be mirrored perfectly to my right. The Thompson sister rolled her eyes. Seriously, Kid, you're too hard on yourself. It will fade away eventually, she tried to assure him, but it seemed like eventually was far too long for Kid to wait. Hey, I have an idea. Come with me. Refusing to stand up and walk, the girl grabbed Kid by the wrist and dragged him like a rag doll from the bottom not from the bottom, from the bathroom to her bedroom. Bottom of what? He sat patiently on the floor as Liz reached for something under her bed. Ta-da! I have your answer right here, she announced, showing off a treasure chest-looking object, complete with rhinestones and fluffy feathers in all its pink glory. Kid stared impassively. I never show this to anyone, not even Patty, because I know she'll mess it up. Anyways, Liz lifted the lid of the trunk to exhibit an amazing array of makeup, powders, lip glosses, mascaras. Anything that could be applied to your face was there. Kid credited Liz for her organization skills that he so rarely sees. She picked out a cream-colored tube and presented it to Kid. Behold, cover-up. Huh? Hence the name, Kid. It can cover up almost anything, so it should do the job for your eye. Here, I'll demonstrate. You follow what I do. Without ado, Liz opened the tube of concealer and squeezed a dime-sized amount on her fingertips. Looking into the mirror with Kid studying intently behind, she dabbed small dots beneath her eyes and spread them evenly until her face beamed with satisfaction. See? Notice that my eye bags aren't as visible? She asked. Kid nodded. She handed him over the tube. Here, you try. Quick to learn and with reluctance pushed aside, Kid smeared dots of concealer around his eye. It's not working. Don't be afraid to use more. With a black eye like that, you might need a little more than what I used. In time, Kid was able to fully cover up the purple about his face. He looked just like he would have hours before when Black Star hadn't struck him. It's like magic, Kid rejoiced. Thank you, Liz. Can I have this? He asked with the cover-up cradled in his hands, feeling a little foolish to get involved with makeup. He never knew how much he was thankful for Liz's fixation on girly pampering practices until now. Liz sighed. Then again, she'd rather not have to deal with Kid moping around. Giving in, she smiled and said, Fine, I can always buy more anyway. Use some before school tomorrow, all right? Patty and Liz were dismissed from their last class of the day. Upon exiting, they wondered where their Meister had gone after Shinigami-sama called for him an hour ago. Traversing the Shibusen corridors, it's been forever since I watched the show, they saw no sign of Kid. It was when they returned home that Kid was found planted in front of the bathroom mirror once again. Hands in his face, Kid stood stiffly in front of the mirror, sporting a black fedora. The Thompson sisters listened to his muffled murmurs, only making out the words, disgraceful and repulsive. Hello, Kid. Nay, what's with the hat? Disregarding Patty's question, Kid turned to the older one of the pair, with large, moistened eyes and pouted lips. He pleaded, Liz, help me. Yeah, Kid looks good with a hat. What is it this time? Liz asked with concern. It felt like deja vu to see Kid exactly as he was the previous day. At least his eye didn't seem bruised. I was leaving Honorable Father and heading back to class, but when I passed through the training grounds, Black Star went out of the boundary lines and Tsubaki, what? Tongue-tied. The Thompson sisters asked in unison. They did this! And with that, Kid lifted the hat from his head and uncovered an obvious and shiny white patch of bare skin on the right side of his head. Kid felt his knees weaken, and he stumbled to the ground. He locked his arms around Liz's legs as a desperate beggar would. As she towered over him, she could feel his wet tears staining her pants. Help me, Liz! Kid has a bald spot, and his scalp is really white. Yeah! Oi. Alright, so that's it for my first fan fiction reading. All credit for the story goes to the author, Karnival. And hopefully I will get better at this the more I attempt it. But yeah, one more thing I'd like to say before ending the video is that if you have any suggestions for fan fictions you'd like me to read, then you can leave those in the comments and I'll definitely consider reading them. So thank you for watching, and that's it. Goodbye.